Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another reading vlog, and this time the dice are going to choose how long I read for the next 5 days. So I've been seeing quite a number of channels doing the spinner wheel chooses how long I read for, those types of videos. However, a lot of the games I play here on my channel involve dice. So I thought to keep it a little more on brand for myself, I would have the dice choose how long I read. I'm going to roll 2 die, and for each number or dot on the die, that will be half an hour. So we have a minimum of 1 hour and a maximum of 6 hours. I could have rolled just 1, but then the probability of getting a higher number of hours to read for the day is much higher, whereas if I roll 2 dice, the highest probability is somewhere in the middle range, which I think will work better for my lifestyle. So we are going to be doing this for the next 5 days. Let's chat about some of the options for books I'm going to read. So I always have 1 physical read, 1 Kindle read, and 1 audiobook on the go, just depending on if I'm able to sit down. If I am off running errands or something, I often bring my Kindle in case there's some waiting. And then when I clean, cook, things like that, I tend to either listen to YouTube videos or audiobooks. So the audiobook I'm currently listening to is Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton, who plays Draco Malfoy, and this is his memoir and a look behind the scenes of filming the Harry Potter movies, which I'm quite interested in, so that will be the audiobook, and it's quite a short one actually. For my physical read, I am buddy reading Powerless by Lauren Roberts with one of my best friends. It's just Steph. She does have a bookish channel, which I will have linked in my description box. This is a YA fantasy that has been compared time and time again to The Hunger Games, and I can definitely see those similarities and comparisons, but honestly, I'm having a great time reading this so far. This is about 500 pages. I'm not sure how quickly Steph and I will get through this as a buddy read, so I do have some other physical read options because I won't be able to fly through this. And then on my Kindle, Sam and I, who I have a constant buddy read going, we are reading Crossed by Emily McIntyre. This is the 5th book in the Never After series. It is a dark romance that is inspired by a Disney retelling, which this one is Hunchback of Notre Dame, which I'm not overly familiar with this story. I'm sure I watched the movie as a child, but I honestly don't remember it. So maybe the kids and I can watch that movie so I can kind of be refreshed on the source material. Although Emily McIntyre has said that her source material isn't actually the Disney versions, but is also based on the original source material that Disney gets its ideas from, but I'm not sure what the original source material is for this particular book. I just know there's a movie called The Hunchback of Notre Dame, you know what I mean? So those are the 3 books I'm starting with. As mentioned, I won't be able to binge through any of my buddy reads. We have kind of a set schedule and chatting about it, things like that. So I do have 3 other physical read options. The first is on my July TBR. This is The One and Only by Emily Giffin. This is the lowest rated book on my physical TBR, so I'm kind of hesitant to dive into this one. This is just contemporary fiction. I also have Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. This is an adult fantasy novel. We are following Mia Corvair as she goes to an assassin school. This is quite brutal and has darker themes, but this would be a reread for me, so I could get through this pretty fast. And then my friend Liz has been begging me to finally pick up The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This is so high on my TBR, but I can never work it into videos and things like that. So maybe this video is the perfect opportunity to give this a try. This is the first book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series, and I really do like Carissa Broadbent as an author. I've read a few of her other books. We are getting a new Crowns of Nyaxia book soon, so I would like to get started on this series. This is a fantasy romance involving vampires and trials. With the trials, it might be a little too similar with Powerless to read at the same time. I'm not really sure, but those are the options. As of right now for this reading vlog, we will see how I get on for the next 5 days. But let's go do our roll for day 1. Hello, good morning. It is Tuesday morning and I'm ready to roll the dice for our first day of reading to find out how much time I need to read for today. I'm really looking forward to this vlog, so let us roll the dice. Of course. Rolled an 11. We're starting off strong. I can do this. I don't have a ton of work to do today, and we don't have a lot of errands that need to be run, but we do have rugby this evening. So I'm going to try and get a chunk of this done this morning. So I need to start my timer, and we have 5.5 hours on the clock today. Let's get reading. Good morning. I did not check in yesterday. It did turn out to be a busier day than expected, which is my norm now, so I should expect it, but I never do. So unfortunately, this is how much time we have left on our timer from yesterday. I'm just going to roll this over and add in my roll for day 2 to this, and hopefully by the end, I think I'm going to do this for 5 days. Hopefully by the end of the 5 days we have officially gotten to 0, and I really hope that the dice are nice to me today. So day 1 was a fail. However, I was able to finish my Kindle read, which was Crossed by Emily McIntyre with bookish bestie Sam. She is linked down below, of course. This is the 5th book in the Never After series. This was so good. I gave it 4.5 stars. This is the best one in the series so far for me. I also liked Hooked, the first one. Didn't love it, and the other ones I have not enjoyed that much. This is what I wanted out of the whole series. I loved Cade as our villain, and I don't want to give any spoilers away, but this was a dark romance done in a way that I personally really liked. So this was a win. Finished my Kindle book. In terms of my physical read, which is my buddy read with Steph, Powerless, I went from page 80 to page 143, so 63 pages read. Not as much as I wanted to read of this, but I am absolutely loving this book. I wish I had more time to be cozy, sit down and read this yesterday, because I am just turning the pages so fast when I get the opportunity to read my physical book. But the Kindle is easier for on the go, And then on audio, I started an audiobook while I was cleaning and cooking, all of that yesterday. I picked up Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton. This is his memoir, and I made it 20% through this book. So I did get quite a bit of reading done yesterday, just not 5.5 hours worth. I don't rate memoirs, but so far I'm really enjoying getting a look behind the scenes, learning a bit more about who Tom Felton was before he was Draco Malfoy. So that is an enjoyable audiobook so far, and he narrates it himself, which I also really enjoy. So finished the Kindle book, made not as much progress as I wanted in my physical read, and started and got 20% through an audiobook. Still counting that as a win. So let us do our dice roll for day number 2, and I will be adding that onto the time I had remaining. All right, day 2, let's see how much we are reading. 5, 6, 7, so we will add 3.5 hours to our timer. All right, so I added 3.5 hours to our remaining 1 hour, 38 minutes, and 56 seconds. So the timer is less than it was yesterday. I would have felt more comfortable, obviously, with just the 3.5, but we will see if I can manage to read this much for day 2. I'm really not sure what my next Kindle read is going to be, and until I decide on that, because I always have a bias towards, you guys are really crooked. I feel like I definitely have a bias towards my Kindle read all the time because it's just so easy to pick up, and it's even just, if I know I have only enough time to read 5 pages, 10 pages, it's just so easy to grab my Kindle. So I think I'm just like not even gonna go searching on what I have out from Kindle Unlimited right now and just focus on reading Powerless this morning, because I really do want to make good progress on this today. I am starting at page 143, about to start chapter 18. I would love to make some progress on this today, so this will be my focus, and then when I'm up and cleaning and all of that, I will definitely pick up my audiobook, and I'll check in with you later, hopefully with some successful news. Hello, good morning. I did complete my just over 5 hours of reading yesterday, which I feel pretty good about. So, on my Kindle, Sam and I started a new buddy read after finishing Crossed by Emily McIntyre, and we are reading Twisted Heathens by J. Rose. Yes, which is a dark romance trilogy. Dark, dark, capital letter dark. Reverse harem, set in a mental patient institute, but it's kind of that mixed with like a university setting. They can choose subjects to study, all of that. And Sam and I always do buddy reads with 5 chapters per day. So I did do that. I'm now 13% of the way through this book, a little under 60 pages of this. I listened to more of my audiobook, which is Beyond the Wand, and I made it from 20 to 50-ish%. So I read quite a bit of that last night. And then the physical read, Powerless, my buddy read with Steph, I made it from page 140 to 230. So 90 more pages of that. Now, when I say all of that, that doesn't seem like a good 5 hours amount of reading, does it? We had this trouble with my 24-hour reading challenge that I did before, in that I'm not the best at starting and stopping my timer every time my kids interrupt me. So if they need a snack, if they need help in the bathroom, you know, anything like that, I'm not like, oh, need to pause my timer first. So not all that time, one moment please. Not all of that time is unfortunately active reading time. Also, I have been feeling so tired. I feel like I have been reading slowly, but I'm enjoying everything I'm reading. So it's not a race. It is fine, but day 2 was successful. So let's roll the dice and see how much reading I need to do today. Fingers crossed for something mid-range to low. We do have a dental procedure that's going to be quite extensive for one of my children today, which everyone's feeling a bit anxious about, but let's roll the dice. Okay, we're just gonna roll the dice here on the floor. We have a 5 and a 3, 8. That means 4 hours of reading. 4 hours, not quite what I was hoping for, but definitely doable, even though it's also my busy work day. I was not thinking this through entirely, but I am going to try my best to continue on with Twisted Heathens, 5 more chapters of that, my audiobook, and make some progress on Powerless as well. Because my Kindle and my physical book are buddy reads and I can't just binge through them, I'm thinking of picking up a second physical book. I might have to do that later on, but we'll just see. We'll see where the day takes us. Hello, we are on day 4, but a recap for day 3. Unfortunately, yesterday was a bit of a rough day for us, so I only read around 2.5 hours of my 4-hour timer. In that time, I read my 5 chapters in Twisted Heathens, putting me around 100 pages, or I think like 25% of the way through this book. I got some more reading done on Powerless, and I'm currently on page 265, so halfway through. I'm absolutely loving this so far, and so is Steph, who I'm buddy reading this with, which is amazing. This is very much like Hunger Games. I totally understand that criticism, however, I'm just having so much fun reading this. A little bit of a check-in on Twisted Heathens is that this is a very dark romance book. Definitely check trigger warnings. All of our characters are in a psychiatric institute, and they are all very concerning in their own ways. I have no idea how this romance is going to come together. It is a trilogy, so I'm assuming we don't have an HEA at the end of this, but we will see. I also read about 15% more of Beyond the Wand. Once again, I'm enjoying this to a certain extent. I do feel like I'm not loving the love for Miss Rowling, if that makes sense. Obviously, she's the author of a very beloved series, but based on current events, not loving that bit. But we do have an hour and 24 minutes that I'm rolling into today's time. We're going to roll the dice to see how much time I need to add to my timer for day 4, but unfortunately, day 3 was also a fail. 6, so we are adding 3 hours. I just finished Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton on audiobook on a little walk that I just did. I do have 2 hours left on my timer for the day. I finished also my buddy read chapters for Twisted Heathens. Some very sus things are going on there that I'm very intrigued by. And I do have a few more chapters to read of Powerless by Lauren Roberts today, but that's not going to take me 2 hours. So I will be picking another book to start this evening in order to get my time down, but I am feeling quite confident, as it's only 8 p.m., that I will be successful in today's reading despite having to roll over some time. So getting lots of things done. This was the second book I finished this week during this reading challenge. There are mosquitoes trying to eat me. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I have today and tomorrow. I would love to finish 1 or 2 additional books in this reading vlog. That would be absolutely amazing. I'm going to continue my walk now. Hello, good morning. Day 4 was a success. I feel so good about that. So after my walk last night, I read to chapter 35 in Powerless, putting me at page 312. So making some progress on this buddy read. We are now over halfway, which is really great. And then I had just a little bit of time left, so I did decide to pick up The Serpent and the Wings of Night, which actually I got it on Kindle Unlimited because I do feel like I read faster on my Kindle, but I made it to page 27 in that, not very far, just on chapter 3 when my timer went off. And as I've already mentioned in this vlog, pausing the timer I've not been that great at when I need to hop up and help the kids. We are potty training, so sometimes it's an emergency. I need to shut my book and run. So I keep being semi-disappointed by the number of pages I've read for the time that I've rolled each day, but I have to remember that I'm actually prioritizing reading this week. I feel like I have done a lot of reading, dedicated a lot of time to reading, and I'm really pleased about that. So we are going to do day 5, the last day for this reading vlog. Even though I'm having so much fun, I could extend this longer. I would love to finish a book today, but I'm not really sure what that could be because I'm really not that far into anything actually now that I'm thinking about it, and I can't breeze through my buddy reads because that would just be rude. So let us roll the dice and see how long I should be reading today, and then I am going to relax for a few minutes, watch some booktube videos that I'm very excited about, and then get ready for the day. All right, how many hours? 3 hours. Again, that is a really great number. Officially finished my timer for day 5, and I feel like I made some really good progress, though I was extremely tired last night when I filmed that other clip, which means I was reading very slowly as I was trying to keep my eyes open but I made it to chapter 45 in Powerless, which is page 368. So that's not that much progress for the amount of time I had left on my timer, but as I said, I was so tired, but now I don't have very much left at all. I really think I can finish this in the next few days as long as Steph is on board. And that is going to conclude this reading vlog. And as I mentioned in a previous check-in, while I didn't finish that many books, mostly because I am doing buddy reads, so I've made really good progress on multiple books. I really prioritized reading over the last 5 days. I completed all of the times that the dice rolled for me, even though I had to roll over time twice. That's okay with me because I eventually got that timer down to 0. And I was really enjoying the books I was reading, which is always a positive as well. Let me know if you like these different kinds of reading vlog challenges. I personally love watching these. I like the random page number one. Maybe we can do that next. 24-hour, 48-hour readathons. All of the things. I love watching that type of content so much. So please let me know if you do as well. If you enjoyed today's reading vlog, don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that I know, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!